guess it's an R-rated show. After having Jonathan, so that was a good few years into our relationship. And I remember having him and just being exhausted because now I've got 2 babies. And I'm just thinking, and we're still like with the 3 times a week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can keep up with this.
No, we were doing it more then.
It could have even been 5, yeah. And I was like, I just don't know if I can keep up with this. I had that conversation with you.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm worried. Yeah, because that's always a thing when it's like, you know, I feel like there's the stereotype, right? Like guys can have lots of sex with different women. And then girls, it's like, oh, she had one night stands or whatever. That's fucking bullshit.
It's changing though.
Yeah, it better fucking change. I mean, when Monica's dad left me, it was an abusive relationship, but he just left, like picked up and just left. So
yeah,
it wasn't like anything
and he
progressed.
disappeared for 6 months too, right?
I think it was about 4 months.
So you came home, he was gone. And you're like, where the fuck is this guy? You couldn't find him for 4 months.
No, he called me and told me that he was leaving, that was it. It was done. Could I pack his clothes and leave them at the front door? He would pick them up. So I was like, okay. So,
and at this point, when this first happens, you're like, fuck him. He can leave, right? That kind of thing?
I suppose so, yeah.
I could picture that.
Yeah.
That's your personality,
yeah.
for sure.
So, yeah, I pack up his stuff and then I start calling him like that week, like, what's going on? Where are you? Right? Like, where are you staying? What's happening? Yeah. And just not answering the phone.
And so, that 4 months went by.
Yeah.
And then the first you heard of him was you were like getting a car wash.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was at the car detailing.
And so this is the father of Monica. So you guys and she was what, 2 at the time?
Almost 4.
4. So he calls you and says, I'm out. But you guys have had crazy fighting, abusive relationship, on the limit the whole time. Okay. Yeah. So then he calls you, says, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And for 4 months, nothing. You call him, how many times you call him?
Maybe I talked to him briefly for like a minute, 2 or 3 times out of that 4 months. But otherwise, he just wouldn't take my phone call.
And how many times did you call him? 4 months? Like 100?
At least 50.
So you're calling him every week? A couple times a week?
Yeah.
For 4 months?
Yeah.
And out of all those times, he only talked to you twice?
Yeah.
And then you hear from the guy, because you got 2 cars, right?
Yeah, so we used to always go to this regular car detailing shop.
Yeah.
So I guess he was still going there.
With his new girl.
I went. And they were like, oh, we saw, I don't know if they knew his name or whatever, but we saw Michelle and yeah, he was here with that girl. I was like, oh yeah, what girl? You know, the blonde one, the short blonde hair.
So did you like feel like you got kicked in the stomach?
Yeah.
You were like, oh fuck.
Because the times I did talk to him, he was telling me that he just left because he had enough. He's like, I didn't meet anyone, I swear, like, right? And I believed him because my ego didn't want to believe that I was left for someone else. Right? That was just too painful. But he had met her before.
Oh yeah, of course. And she had her own kid, which was like a double fucking smoker.
Yeah.
Like for him to leave you.
And she was 10 years older than me.
For him to leave you with his kid and go for another woman that had her own kid.
Yeah. Yeah. And then just kind of abandoned Monica, right? Like he wasn't keeping in touch with her either. So it was hard. It felt like shit. But at the time, yeah, I thought my life was ending, but it actually was just starting because it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah, he slowly started like pulling back. Like each month it would be a little bit less until eventually after like 6 months, it was nothing.
And you had to move back in with your parents?
No, I had enough money to buy my own place, but I had to get a job. I had to.
You're working 2 jobs.
Like start, yeah.
Like you were like you bought the place, but then you were just struggling to get by.
Yeah.
And then you eventually had to move into your parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things unwound for him too, though.
Oh yeah.
So,
it wasn't like he was not paying you because he.
You know, I think though, even if he had kept having the money, I think he would have done that anyway. Just he's not really a nice person. Yeah. I think he would have stopped paying, even if he had the money.
I felt like having that happen to you would give you a perspective on life that these other people couldn't.
Yeah, for sure. And a certain strength, right? Because it took me to my knees. Like it was so painful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that because, yeah, I think a lot of guys would have been turned off by it. like knowing that experience that I had, they'd be like, holy shit, this is way too much for me. This chick is like just way too much. I can't handle her.
No, I saw this the opposite.
Yeah, I think I kind of am a lot to handle, but yeah, it's interesting that you were able to see the other side.
Tell us about your book real quick.
Unfold Me.
Unfold Me. What's it about?
It's my life story. A woman that struggled, bipolar disorder, 4 kids, trying to make her way in the world. Lots of secrets and guilt and shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. I disclose everything in there. It's definitely a R-rated book.
Where and when can they buy it?
October 24th at dmaloney.com. The website is not live yet. It'll be live the 23rd.
And they can purchase it right off your website?
Yeah.
You should get that website up and running now, no?
It's being built.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's an e-commerce. They can buy it right off the website?
Through PayPal, and then I'll send it to them. And then after
Amazon. Do I
get a
free copy, or I got to buy one?
You'll get a free one, special signature.
All right.
Yeah. And I'll be doing an Audible soon.
Okay, so one more time. What's the book about? It's your life and how fucked up your life was.
My life story.
Right? And give some quick highlights. So you talk about the boyfriend, how we got the money.
Yeah.
How you were getting 40 grand a month cash.
Yeah.
You talk about that.
Yeah.
And then you talk about some other things that happened to you.
Yeah.
That there was a family member that...
there's some sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Then I was raped when I was 10 by a 16-year-old. So
you don't give away too much. You gotta let the people... All right, that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough.
And then it goes all the way up until recently.
Current day. Yeah. And how I was able to turn my life around against all odds.
And we talked about how much it costs?
The book?
Yeah.
$19.99 for the paperback.
Yeah.
$29.99 for hardcover.
Gotcha. And you did everything yourself?
Yeah.
You didn't get a publisher?
Yeah, I did everything myself. So that's very impressive on its own because it was so much work.
Because you were the type of person prior to this that thought you were just going to be a mom.
Oh yeah, I was just happy to stay home with the kids and homeschool, and I never planned a career for myself. Never, yeah. So now that I'm kind of creating this career, it's really exciting.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
And you're going to do an audiobook too?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.